came to Bethsaida, and some people brought to Jesus a blind man and begged him to touch him. And Jesus took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. And when he had spit on his eyes and laid his hands on him, he asked the man, "Do you see anything?" And the man looked up and said, "I see people, but they look like trees walking." Then Jesus laid his hands on his eyes again, and the man opened his eyes. His sight was restored, and he saw everything clearly. Hey, good morning. This is Pastor Steve Mapp, and I am so delighted that you've taken time this morning to join us for our devotional. We are so glad to have you. Our devotionals for this Lenten period are coming from this Lenten series that we're doing entitled The Marks of Love, and you can find that on our website. I hope that you'll to go to our website and follow us each and every day during this Lenten period. This morning's reading comes from chapter 8 in Mark. Mark uses miraculous healings, I think the miraculous healings of Jesus throughout his gospel to frame his understanding of Jesus as the Son of God, the true Messiah. The ultimate power of that, of course, being in the cross and the resurrection of Jesus. But our passage this morning really fits into a larger narrative, I think, about the gradual lifting of the disciples' ability to see Jesus and who he is. It's their spiritual blindness, so to speak, that Jesus is trying to heal. He often would say to them, "Do you see yet not understand? Do you have eyes but not see, ears but not hear?" In our passage this morning, we focus again on a physical healing by Jesus through his touch. Jesus heals physically so that you and I can see spiritually. Faith itself is really the work of God's healing touch on our lives. Faith and trust in Jesus results from his healing work in us. And becoming disciples implies that following Jesus indeed is a process of becoming something that only he can bring about. It's a process. And it's concretized, if you will, by this healing story this morning, a healing that takes place in two parts. It's true, it takes time and repeated hands-on action from Jesus, I think, before we completely see him and fully understand what he wants to do in our lives. The disciples who followed Jesus, they're in the process of becoming who they are to be. The process of becoming their destiny, their role in God's plan of salvation, and certainly in the formation of the church. And of course, they finally see all of this in Jesus' resurrection, and they go on, of course, to fulfill their destiny. The blind man in our story today, he does achieve his sight, albeit not all at once. And this, I think, gives hope to the disciples of Jesus, the disciples of every age, you and I. It gives us hope. It takes time and often multiple touches by Jesus on our lives for us to see and become what it is that we should be in Jesus Christ. I think the Apostle Paul captured this process very well in his letters. In his first letter to the Corinthians, he makes this statement: "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I will know fully, just as I also have been fully known." Paul, of course, is speaking to the process of our gaining spiritual wisdom and knowledge of Jesus Christ throughout our lives. And then, of course, finally seeing him fully when we see him face to face in our eternal home. And in the letter to the Philippians, and I love this verse so much, the first chapter of Philippians, verse 6, Paul speaks to this process that we're in, and he says this: "For I am confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will perfect it until the day of Christ Jesus. It does take, I think, time and multiple touches by Jesus on our lives for us to fully see him and to see fully what it is that he has for us to do in this plan. Amazingly, I think, though, this is a key for me. No matter how many touches it takes, no matter how much time and how many touches it takes for Jesus to do that in us, that's what he's willing to do. He'll touch us as often as we need to be touched, if it will move us in the direction to fully know him and to see him, just as the story today showed us. And I can only imagine what this man who received his sight went on to do in his life in telling the story of Jesus. What a great story this morning, and what a wonderful truth that Jesus is willing to touch us as often as we need so that we can fully see him. Thanks for being with me this morning. I so much love the opportunity to be with you on Monday mornings for our devotional. And I hope that today is a blessed day for you. Stay safe. We're praying for you, and so be careful. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon. God bless you. Have a great day. And welcome to March.